It's a weird time for AI, right? On one hand, it's becoming totally commonplace in our daily lives. But on the other, there's this growing backlash when companies roll it out without a clear plan. So today, we're going to look at two tech giants and their wildly different playbooks for artificial intelligence. It's really a story of chaos versus clarity.
So just imagine this for a second. You're a creator. You pour your heart into your art. You upload it, and then you find out the platform has been secretly changing it behind your back. Well, that's exactly what kicked off this whole debate. It all started with a simple, pretty unsettling question that artists started asking online.
And that's the crucial point here. Look, anyone who's used these tools knows how powerful they are. The conversation has totally moved past whether AI is going to be a thing. It is a thing. The real discussion, the one we need to have right now, is about crafting the playbook. It's all about how we integrate this tech thoughtfully and, ethically.
Which brings us to our first case study, YouTube. A few months back, creators started noticing something was, well, a little off with their videos. And it led to this huge backlash against what the company just called an experiment.
It really kicked off with posts just like this one from a creator named Kiwi Sagas. They put their original upload side by side with what was showing up on YouTube, and the difference was, well, it was jarring. The videos weren't just higher resolution, they were fundamentally changed, complete with really obvious AI mistakes.
And this is where you can really see the problem. On the left, you've got the creator's vision, exactly what they wanted you to see. On the right, you have YouTube's altered version. Other creators were calling it a horrible AI sharpener that was adding all these weird artifacts. So this wasn't just some simple quality boost, it was a total, non-consensual change to their art.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The concern quickly ballooned beyond just creative control. Commentators like Sam Aberrant pointed out a much, much bigger risk. Think about it. If we all get conditioned to seeing slightly fake, AI-altered content everywhere, it becomes way easier for actual disinformation to slip through the cracks. It starts to blur our shared sense of what's real.
So as the story blew up and got picked up by major outlets, YouTube had to say something. Their official line was that this was all just an experiment. But notice the really specific wording here. They used traditional machine learning, think analysis, optimization, to improve video clarity. And they made a special point to say it was not generative AI, which is the kind that actually creates new stuff from scratch.
But yeah, that explanation didn't exactly land with everyone. Experts like Samuel Woolley at the University of Pittsburgh basically argued this was a deliberate misdirection. He suggested that using the term machine learning was a savvy, strategic way to sidestep all the controversy that now surrounds that more loaded term, AI.
Okay, so now let's pivot. In stark contrast to YouTube's whole secret experiment thing, we have Netflix. They recently published a very public, very clear set of guidelines for how its partners should, and maybe more importantly, shouldn't use generative AI.
And here it is, their whole framework. Instead of a secret test, Netflix put out 5 clear principles. And when you really boil it down, they all revolve around 3 core ideas: securing data, respecting copyright, and, this is the big one, making sure there's human consent. It's a playbook that's built on transparency and control. And here's the philosophy, the why behind it all. Netflix explicitly says this is about trust. They get it. They recognize that if AI is used carelessly, it can totally erode the audience's ability to tell fact from fiction. Sound familiar? That's the exact same concern people had with the YouTube experiment. And to make it super practical, they even created this traffic light system. Green light for the low-risk stuff like brainstorming or making mood boards, yellow light for things that might need a second look, like background signs in a scene, and a hard red light for any high-risk uses like final character designs or replicating actors. That stuff requires an explicit sign-off from Netflix itself. It's a model of clarity.
And this approach, this transparency, it got a lot of praise, including from people deep in the industry, like Chris Valenzuela, who's the CEO of the AI video company Runway. He basically said, yep, this is the right way to help people understand how to use this tech responsibly.
So, we've got 2 models on the table, chaos and clarity. But this whole debate is about using AI as a tool to make the kind of media we're already used to. So what happens when AI stops being just a tool and becomes the medium itself?
Well, meet Showrunner. This is a new company that's building a tool that lets anyone create entire episodes of a TV show just by typing in a prompt. We're talking about a massive leap here, from AI as a paintbrush to AI as the entire canvas.
The creator, Edward Sachi, has this honestly kind of mind-bending vision for this. He says the Toy Story of AI won't just be some cheap knockoff. His idea is that the AI version of Toy Story would be
playable, where a user could literally generate millions of new scenes. It's a huge shift from passively watching something to actively creating it.
And that really leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? As we're writing the rules for this new technology, are we just figuring out how to make the things we already make, but maybe a little better or a little faster? Or are we on the verge of creating entirely new, interactive worlds that we can all build in? That, right there, is the next chapter we're all going to be watching unfold.